Our dumbbell pullovers are a strength move for our lats, those muscles in that upper back, sometimes used during pull-ups and other rowing exercises. They're also an exercise that's really going to stretch and open up the chest and the shoulders. And to a minimal degree, we are hitting the triceps. If you are feeling it primarily in the triceps, which I'll touch on is one of our most common mistakes made on this one, then you want to stop and make sure that you correct your form and go back to the fundamentals. So, set up for this exercise, grab one dumbbell. We're going to lay down on a bench. This can be performed flat on the floor if you do not have a bench. You simply won't get quite as much range of motion, so you won't be able to lower that weight down below the rest of the body like you saw during that demonstration. Instead, it's going to stop when it touches the floor. So you won't get quite as much of a stretch, not as quite as much engagement, but it is possible to be performed on the floor. And in which case, you can hold the dumbbell like this on the outsides so you can get down a little lower to the floor. But we're going to show this on the bench because that's where it's most commonly done, and you'll get the most benefit from doing it on the bench as well. So we're going to lay down flat on that bench. Make sure that head is up toward the edge of the bench so that your arms are not going to be hitting the bench as you lower that weight up overhead. We're going to come on up. We're going to grab that dumbbell with that diamond hand position. So you're going to grab it to where you're making a little triangle with those hands, and that weight is going right in between those hands right here. So we're going to keep the arms fairly straight, and we're going to keep them fairly straight throughout that entire movement. As we reach out overhead, try to focus on getting that stretch right through here as we are lowering that weight down as far as you are comfortably able to, and then pulling it right back up above the body to that starting position directly over the chest. Number one, most common mistake made on this exercise, and it is what leads to feeling it in the triceps before feeling it in our chest and that stretch, before feeling it in our lats and that stretch in the chest, is going to be bending at the elbows and instead of pulling the weight, pushing the weight up above. So what that looks like is we're going to bend the arms like this, and then we'll press that weight up above us. What we want to do is instead of doing that to where we're taking over with the triceps, we want to keep those arms fairly straight throughout that movement. Think about reaching out as you lower that weight overhead so you get that stretch, and think about pulling up and over instead of pushing that weight away from us. So you're going to go in an arc here. Those arms are staying fairly straight throughout that movement, going in that big arc, not coming in and pushing that weight. So again, watch how I come way out overhead, like I'm reaching back behind me as I'm lowering that weight down. I'm focusing on feeling that stretch. I can definitely feel that stretch in my lats and my upper back here as I get as low as I can. And then I'm pulling up and over. I'm not coming in close to me and pushing. I'm pulling that weight in that arc, keeping those arms still fairly straight. And I'm stopping right above the body here. Any further down like this, you're not really doing anything. We're not having to work against gravity. So we're going to be stopping right above the chest and then controlling on back into that movement again. So remember that key fundamental, going in that arc, keeping those arms fairly straight, reaching out overhead, getting that stretch here. Another big thing to remember on this exercise is you're going to want to do it slowly. This is not a speed move whatsoever. This is an exercise you even more so want to focus on slowing it down, really focusing on the stretch as you come down and pulling with that upper back as you come up overhead. Start with a lighter weight. Typically, you will be able to do a heavier weight on this than you would like on a bicep curl or a tricep kickback or something like that. But I want you to start with a lightweight first so you can get used to that movement and really get used to feeling that stretch. You should be able to feel the stretch right through here as you lower down. And then as you get more comfortable with it and you're good about activating those muscles we're trying to work and not just the triceps, then you can go ahead and start progressing up in weight from there.